counting upward, and they pull the zone. That is the biggest difference from game 1 to game 2. They now have the front side, and they have full control. And Merstach trying to fly his way in. He instantly gets knocked down, and now it's up to Pablo, Chino, and they're not immediately trying to drop down low. They're trying to assess the situation and figure out if they can take it.
Chino's been on fire. Pablo, still 3 eliminations too, but 11 elims despite losing for Oxy. This is still a classic scenario for Pablo and Chino. They might still be able to make it work. They're trying to see if they can figure out, maybe take away a little bit of an advantage play, because these teams are looking for pre-edits in the mid-round and even in the lower layers, but they're not going to allow it. Merstach, Swizzy, and Queasy are the real threat right now, though. They just continue to apply steady pressure to those mid layers. It's a big part of the reason why these teams are just getting so picked apart in between.
And you're seeing, as soon as they made it inside of the zone, they reconnected, making it that much harder for anybody to take him down. Marius, he's now trying to move up. 10 damage above the threshold. At least they're in front of the curve. Quickly looking towards the right, currently Cooper and Reed. That was their momentary target, but they realize they have to stay ahead of the zone. They cannot get too greedy and fall behind.
But nobody can come close to Queasy and Merstach. They're just still overtaking the high ground. King, big time though. Picks eliminated. PH Sin soon to follow though. If he's not careful, he's gonna be forced to pull back here. But King and PH Sin, hip by hip. Flowberry Fizz punishing as much shield as they possibly can, because they have to keep moving forward, playing back of zone, because they have no materials. They're going to be forced to drop another layer. Height's not going to allow them to press forward any longer, and they might just drop directly into Epic Whale's hands.
You're seeing a lot of the damage again. Higgs goes down. Pixie cleans that one up. Queasy gets the knock onto Iamzo. They're making sure that they make it count, that they got high ground in this game. 5 eliminations, and once again, they're connecting it. They're reinforcing. They're making sure nobody has a chance to contest them on the high ground.
Everybody underneath them is just a victim at this point, Jacob. Marius, Vanya, and Pixie seemingly undiscovered for the time being, though. Kanata in a little spot of trouble here. Just saw him take a massive chunk of his shield. Pixie now looking to play the medkit from the back of zone. Swizzy, though, shutting down Vanya the moment that he tries to push forward. And Merstach directly assisting here. Bolts, you're rocking a hard place, and Madi is going to be knocked. Marius eliminated, essentially. There's no way his teammates are going to be able to get to him.
Yeah, and you're also seeing Kanata fall, Rapid down. Not sure about both, but things are going sideways very quickly, and it gets even more worse because the zone is pulling over that mountain. If you didn't prepare for it, it's going to be lights out, but Swizzy trying to stop Surf Juice. He's going to be the first one that does go down. But Merstach, Queasy, that's a huge signal. That's a huge sign. They're trying to get away from this catalyst on the low ground.
But Queasy and Merstach are the only ones that made it to the mountaintop, and Queasy, it is just raining down from above. Queasy continuing to find those eliminations. Pump gonna be dropped. It's only Baka and Yetko, and Panzer's been eliminated too. Queasy and Merstach away with it. No one left to challenge.
To figure out where they're going to go, because zone is slightly moving up over that mountain. They realize no other team is in their path. It's now or never.
But the problem is they've got Swizzy, Queasy, and Merstach on height, beaming everybody underneath them. These guys are applying so much steady and consistent pressure that nobody's having a chance to look up just yet. They've spotted out a team tunneling through. It's Malibuka and Walks trying to see if they can break through from that secondary height position, but with Queasy now overtaking the front side, overtaking front side height. Now everybody else stuck underneath. This is everything for Queasy, Merstach, and Swizzy.
And just in the back pocket, you see 6 flashes, the exotic Slapberry Fizz, which heals HP, a just in case, but up goes Pixie. They're trying to go for that opportunity, but Mario says, no, 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 we need to disengage. We cannot go for it, at least not right now, but he's taking so much damage on his way down. But Swizzy, distracted for a short moment. A lot of his shields go out the window. Luckily for him, his entire trio is still there. 2,000 damage above the threshold. They won last game with 12 eliminations, and they're well on their way to do it again.
And that's the problem for everybody else in this lobby, is that Queasy, he is just tarping fully unleashed. Nobody there to stop his path. 2 of them, the best fraggers in the world, by his side. And Kanata, he is down and out for the count. Bolts, Rapid, trying to see if they can secure a strong, at least break into that top 5 placement maybe. But Iamzo, Higgs, also a little bit scattered here. Iamzo's gonna fall. It's Higgs who's trying to come up big time here. Big elimination though for Higgs. Gonna buy him a little bit of a lifeline. He's doing everything he can to try and play through this backside side of zone. The Siphon still carrying him just a bit further, but Marius, Vanya, Queasy, they're looking to layer swap. They know they don't have enough, and Marius taken out the moment that he tries to chop through.
He just gets stuck. That 1 second cost him what could be an opportunity here. Queasy's just trying to make it to the front side of the zone. He's just getting cut down every step of the way, but finally reuniting with Vanya. This is their moment. They have to figure out a way to make this count. They're missing a huge chunk of HP. They're using what they can out of the med mist, but there's still a whole team on high ground and another team lurking underneath. That's Chap, Savage, and Reason. They're making every single one of these uncontested games count as Vanya's making a play, challenging for the high ground. He has it for now, but how long can he hold on to it?
Vanya doesn't even care that it's just a 2 versus 3. He still tries to take that challenge, but Swizzy immediately, not against my IGL. I've got the backup here. Swizzy taking him out. Vanya, sorry that it's a fellow gentleman, but it's just business, not personal. Cammy also eliminated for Stash. Now trying to see if he can take out Chap along the way, but Savage, Mr. Savage still making it work.
This is it. It's basically all EU here in the end game. Chap down below, trying to make a play. He's gonna get cut short. Reason as well. It's all up to Savage, but no, the entire trio ends up back in the lobby. Swizzy has finally come down. He's ready to steal this game away. They have 12 eliminations, already matching their last game win.
Don't count out Pix, Darman, Demons, though. These guys love winning through the low ground. We've seen them do it time and time again, and Queasy with no materials. Pix also no materials. I drop lurking directly behind the team on low ground, though, and Merstach, Swizzy, they're starting to drop. They're trying to see if they can close this one out. Queasy finds a knot. Demons is out. Queasy going for the back-to-back. It is all Queasy, Merstach, and Swizzy. That note, they're still trying to see if they can leapfrog their way into that top 5 position from the leaderboard. How many times have we seen strong performances convert to a big jump in placement? But Swizzy, Merstach, Queasy, as long as they stay tried and true to their strategy, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, and they got such a good spot, not only because the high ground, but Taco, take a look. Where is the zone going? Over Foxy Floodgate. That means there's going to be so many different elevations that if it pulls all the way towards the east or even towards the north and then back down to the south, it is going to be a roller coaster of emotions. And Venno, Queasy, and Vico throughout the day has been going through just that. 269 below the damage threshold. Even with Vito hitting a nice shot, it's not going to really change what they're facing right now. And that's why you see them scrambling, looking all around, trying to get information, figure out where they need to put their focus at.
They're likely going to have to drop to ultimate low and maybe try to play a pre-edit off of a back tarp. That would maybe be their best opportunity to find some big damage. Still, other teams are absolutely feasting here, and Benno's not going to get the chance from overhead. It's a minute. This is their backyard, essentially, and Foxy Floodgate now really heating up a Vico. He's not going to allow it. You take down one of my teammates, I'm going to take you with them. Braids having to play for the revive visuals, just not going to be able to do it, though. And Flixie, Vico, this is a dynamic duo, though, Jacob. They could really make it work.
Yeah, they've kind of put an all-or-nothing situation going after the high ground. Even though they picked up eliminations, got some points, they have a max pull on the other side. And this is what I warned you about, the different type of elevations that are going to start to come into play as Vico does it again, taking down a Minish, making sure to clean that one up. 4 more points out of the total as they get their 5th elimination of the game.
All the way hanging back now. So much pressure being applied to this top section of Foxy Floodgate. But they are right back at home. Queasy, Merstach, and Swizzy looking to control the dam, and that's the most important part of Foxy Floodgate. If you have the dam control, you have all of height.
Yep, top 17 though. This is where placement points are going to start to set in and cascade further with each and every team that does get wiped off the lobby. Merstach, Queasy, Swizzy, they are not backing down. They are not shaking. They're just terrorizing everybody around the lobby. Par's really feeling the pain there, and that's because they have that bird's eye view. Nobody is contesting Swizzy, Queasy, and Merstach on the high ground, and look exactly what's happening because of it.
There needs to be studies done on Queasy's brain because this position is absolutely unreal. Mr. Savage, Chap, trying to do what they can to push back against Swizzy's pressure, but it's just so difficult to try and take those bloom battles from overhead, Jacob. This is so much leverage over the rest of the lobby, and Swizzy now trying to make sure that he doesn't find himself eating more damage than what he bargained for, but still he has Merstach to depend on. The moment that Swizzy's shields get cracked, he falls back, and Merstach immediately picks up the slack.
Gonna be tough because now we're going right back on over the open, and most of this next zone is just all low ground except for the far western side of it all, where there's gonna be a mountain that you can try to attach to. So you gotta make sure you planned ahead, peek through the cone, get the information. Yamzo, Clicks, and Higgs are doing just that. They're not the highest up, they're not the lowest either, but they're assessing the situation. Do we need to drop down further? Or do you let a team like Pickstorm and Demas get in front of you and try to land the damage? But not everybody is feeling as safe. Not everybody is feeling as comfortable. 66 damage above the threshold. Yapko, Panzer, and Seti, even though they're inside of that top 10, they still need to make that consistency count.
But do they have any Flowberry Fizz or Crash Pads? Because it's going to be difficult for them to work their way up and down this elevation. But the way that the zones are pulling here, Mr. Savage, Reason, and Chap now trying to see if they can work their way up from the underbelly of the lobby. They've got a semi-isolated layer, but they're going to be forced to drop. They don't have the materials to keep tarping through that mid-ground section. And underneath, where all of the congestion is very likely to start pulling into, that's just open season now for Queasy, Swizzy, and Merstach.
Savage team 2 points away from hitting that top 5. And the thing is, they were 1 point away, almost missing the Major 3 Grand Finals. They were 2 points in that last spot to secure the global spot. A miracle run is coming out as Queasy, once again, almost 2,000 damage, back-to-back games above the threshold. Yapko, Panzer, Seti, they're feeling the pressure from up above. You see a huge lack of not only materials, but resources as well. As he gets cut short, the wall breaks him off. He's gonna go down, but for Yapko and Seti, this is everything.
They're still trying to see what kind of placement points they might be able to collect. Every little bit counts for that team, but Vanya, secondary height, Cammy, Hottie, and iDrop, they've also been rather quiet throughout today, Jacob, but that could change in an instant. Mr. Savage, Reason, and Chap now trying to make sure that their back tarp is fully closed off, but Savage not having the opportunity yet to keep building through. Chap picking up where his IGL left off. That is always what you would hope for in a team. Yamzo is sadly going to have to play it through with just Higgs, though, and this is a tough spot to be in unless Higgs finds a big elimination for the refresh.
That was not only points for the elimination, but placement points as well. The full trio's wiped off the map. Acorn, Savage, King, Tayson all going down. Yamzo as well. A good shot being landed, but not good enough. He gets steamrolled by Darm. Marius is the one who took down Poyo. Him and Banya are feeling the pain as well, because they have to do it without Pixie.
But they've at least got frontside low control, and that's going to have to be enough. They're going to need as many eliminations as possible because they need more materials. And we haven't even started the conversation of how to deal with Queasy, Swizzy, and Merstach up above. Everybody else in this lobby looking substantially healthier too.
I feel like I've seen this episode of Fortnite before. Game 2, Game 3, and it's looking like it could be possible for Game 4. 370 points and counting. Only 2 teams in front of him, both of them weak. Vanya trying to do what he can, but he only has 1 teammate, Marius as well, but the full trio up above. They get the wipe onto 1. They're looking to close this one out as well. Marius in his line of sight, but Swizzy, he takes a big shot. That's a surprise attack, but luckily for him, his 2 teammates have his back. Merstach gets the drop on the Marius, stays alive. They're targeting out Vanya. 3v1 situation, and they go back